Police Director Ernie Parry, Trenton Mayor Eric Jackson, Chief of Detectives Eldon Harris, Deputy Chief Mike Novembri, and Sergeant Gary Wasco, the Mercer County Homicide Task Force. At about 2:45 a.m. this morning, radio transmissions as well as 911 calls began coming into the Trenton Police Department on multiple shots fired as well as officers needing assistance. The incident occurred at the historic Roebling Wire Works building located at 675 South Clinton Avenue, where the Art All Night event was taking place. The preliminary investigation to this point, and the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office Homicide Task Force is taking over the investigation pursuant to Attorney General guidelines, as there was an officer-involved shooting. At this point, the preliminary investigation reveals that multiple individuals attending the Art All Night event opened fire within the venue, and to this date and time, multiple weapons have been recovered. At this point, there are 20 individuals who were treated for a variety of gunshot wounds as well as other injuries. There is one individual, a 33-year-old male, who is one of the suspects in the shooting, who has already been pronounced as deceased. The youngest victim was a 13-year-old male. He is in extremely critical condition. At least two of the suspects in this mass casualty shooting are in custody. As we indicated, one of the individuals has been pronounced deceased. The other individual is in police custody. There were 18 individuals that were treated at Capitol Health System at Fold, 15 of those for gunshot wounds. 2 individuals were treated at St. Francis Medical Center, one of them for gunshot wounds, and one individual has been transferred to Cooper Hospital. As I mentioned, the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office is handling this investigation pursuant to the Attorney General guidelines. At this point, the New Jersey State Police Crime Scene Unit from North and Central will be processing the crime scene. And on top of that, the Art All Night interviews are currently being conducted with the individuals who were here that were witnesses, as well as those individuals who sustained gunshots. The Art All Night event will not reopen today, so anyone who is going to come to try to partake in that event should not come. The event will be closed. We would like to offer our thanks, and on behalf of Mayor Jackson as well as Director Parry, to the West Windsor Police Department, the Hamilton Police Department, Lawrence Police, Ewing Police, and the New Jersey State Police for coming and providing mutual aid and assistance at this time. With that, we'll turn it over to Mayor Jackson, and again, we are very preliminary in the investigation at this point. But just to recap, there were 20 people that were injured, 16 by gunshot wounds. One individual has been pronounced deceased, and that is a suspect. So I'll turn it over to Mayor Jackson.
Thank you, Angelo, very much. Good morning. This is truly a tragedy for Trenton. First, my most sincere sympathy goes out to the victims and their families, and to the attendees and to the organizers of this event, Art All Night. All shootings, whether large or small, are a crisis. It's a fact that our cities as well as our suburbs throughout America are experiencing an increase in public shootings and public unrest such as this. This isn't just a random act of violence. This is a public health issue. We are working cooperatively and collaboratively to end this violence here in the city of Trenton. I want to assure our residents and the many guests that come into our city that my office and the city of Trenton, my police department, and all the law enforcement agencies are taking this shooting extremely seriously and working hard to do all that we can to make sure not only that this area and that the city is safe for everyone. I want to thank all of the law enforcement that have been involved. I want to thank all those that cooperated with the investigation and continue to cooperate. And as the prosecutor said, the event will not reopen today. And we want to make sure that our residents know that this investigation for this shooting is being taken seriously. We will maintain safety in our city. This type of unrest cannot happen, and we will make sure we work together cooperatively. And again, I want to thank all the law enforcement agencies that responded quickly to help us and assist us in this event. Thank you.
Do we know the target at all in this?
Now that's all part of the investigation. We're using multiple sources, including the individuals who were there, as well as some of the social media.
The individual who was he killed by gunfire from the suspects or gunfire from police?
Still under investigation, Alex, so we'll, as soon as we have an update on that.
And you said there were officer needs assistance calls. Are you
Yes.
saying that officers who were working off-duty security at Art All Night engaged the suspects, or on-duty police officers that were here?
I believe it was a combination.
Did Trenton police officers discharge their weapons? Do you know how many?
That's all part of the investigation.
But there was officer discharge?
It's all part of the investigation.
So you have one suspect in custody. Are you looking for anyone else?
We're again combing everything that we can to see if there were other individuals involved.
How many suspects have you identified so far?
2, as I mentioned.
2 shooters, that's a fact. There could be more.
Could be.
So the deceased was 33, male. Do you know the age of the second suspect?
Not at this point.
The adult male?
Yes.
You said you've been monitoring social media. Was there any indication of any kind of gang meetup or anything like before this?
That's all part of the investigation. That we could make a lot of comments right now, but until everything gets pieced together and evaluated, I think it's reckless to comment on that.
But there was no security check to get in. Like obviously, people say it was done so by individuals who were attending the event, so they must have brought their guns inside during the event at some point in time.
If your question is were there metal detectors or anything like that, the answer is no.
The building that's behind us, is that the building where the shooting took place? Inside
Yes, it
there?
is.
In the big, large area where
Yes.
everyone has all the art. I mean, any estimate of how many people were in there at that time, and could this death toll have been worse?
It absolutely could have been worse given the confined space and the number of shots that appear to have been fired. We've heard estimates ranging from 1,000 and up.
Inside that building at the time?
In the immediate area.
How
You
many
said a
shell
third-
casings or shots were fired estimated?
All part of the investigation, and until the state police completes everything, that again would be inappropriate to comment on.
So the 13-year-old boy in critical condition. Any other serious injuries, or most of the injuries very serious?
I believe we were told that 4 total are in critical condition.
Any
One
other
of them
children
being a
shot?
13-year-old.
Yes,
Any
The
other
rest
children?
above 18, I would assume.
yes,
Just the one child shot, or were there others?
yes, just that one.
And Mayor, could you describe for us what this festival is supposed to be? I hear it's supposed to raise money for local artists. It's been going on for about 12 years now.
Yeah, it's been a marquee event here in the city, and prior to early this morning, it's been pulled off without any hitch. We have historically brought in upwards to collectively 10,000 people with no problems, and this year people came and obviously had other intentions that made it now a very disruptive and unfortunate event.
Was there a fight breaking out immediately prior to the gunfire?
Again, that's all part of the investigation. We've been on this. It's a massive crime scene. There's a lot of people that are injured. There were a lot of interviews that needed to be conducted, and that's all happening right now. So accuracy is the important thing at this point.
Would you say this was an attack on the event, or was this, like you said, a beef between 2 groups, or they came in with the plan to just attack whoever was at the event, create like a terror kind of situation?
That would all be part of the investigation, but it doesn't seem that the shooting was prompted because people didn't like Art All Night.
The main shooter is the one who is deceased. Is that you say that at this point?
That's our preliminary belief. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. We'll provide updates as they become available.
আরও খবরের আপডেট পেতে সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন আমাদের ইউটিউব চ্যানেলটি আর বেল আইকনে ক্লিক করুন নোটিফিকেশনস পেতে।